Hey everybody, ShadowRock here with your last Mega News Roundup for 2021. I know that technically 2021 still has one more week left in it, but unfortunately this is the last Mega News I can actually make before I break for the holidays. So today we're rounding up a few last Mega News pieces. Not a ton, but some things have come out. And after that, we're going to be looking ahead towards 2022, what's going on with the channel, and what you can expect for the Blue Bomber himself in the new year. As always, let's start in the deep log with the Asian and Japanese version of Rockman-X Dive, where honestly there's not a lot to say. We are currently in the middle of the Toll of Christmas Bell from Afar event, and this is week 2, so expect the usual week 2 event missions that you would normally do. Make sure you complete the stage on every difficulty and so on. In addition, there is going to be another round of the Total Power Battle event, which will feature a stage for a boss battle, a horde battle, and a speedrun stage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No new banners or weapons or anything like that. But before we log out to the deep log, there is an interesting thing involving our good old friends NebulaJoy, who are handling the global versions of Mega Man X Dive. By now, many of you should be familiar with the very questionable ads that they have come out with for Mega Man X Dive. And among those ads were some leaks, such as Nana from Mega Man X Command Mission, the ZX Advent version of Ale, and Halloween Sigma, which did come out during the most recent Halloween event for the Asian and Japanese versions. This time, however, there was recently another leak. Yes, they've done it again. And this time around, the leak happens with an ad that shows a 3-on-3 PvP fight, we assume. Maybe it's a mock-up of the promised 3v3 mode that should be coming back to Dive at some point, but it hasn't actually happened yet for some reason. On the right we have some characters, Marino, X, and Axel of course. But then things get a little weird when you look at the left side, because they're actually bosses, not characters. You can't fight bosses in PvP. But anyway, we have the giant mechanoid, Incentas, Illumnia, and wait a minute, did I just say Incentas? Oh yep, sure enough, there he is, right there. And of course, that's not just recycled artwork from Command Mission. No, that's entirely brand new, specifically for Dive. So yes, it's looking likely that at some point in the future, we will see Incentas from Mega Man X Command Mission making his way to the D-Blog as a boss. And hey, if we're lucky, maybe even a playable character, wouldn't that be fun? For those not in the know, Incentas was indeed one of the bosses from Command Mission, working with the Rebellion Army, and during his boss fight, he had a unique mechanic where every turn of his that passes, he will transform into a different element, such as fire, water, and thunder. Also, he has 6 hands, and if you're not careful, you're gonna catch all of those hands. Being that Incentas is going to be the second major Command Mission boss being added to Dive, it's once again going to be interesting to see how they translate Incentas from an RPG to a 2.5D action game, just like Mad Nautilus before him, which he turned out to be pretty annoying actually, so hopefully Incentas doesn't come up with that same issue. However, the jury is still out on that one, as we only have the artwork to really look at this moment. This is one of those situations where you gotta wonder how far ahead are NebulaJoy given these artworks, because even in the case of Nana and ZXA Ale, we haven't seen hide nor hair of them ever since they were leaked through NebulaJoy's ads. So with that in mind, it may be quite a long time before we see Incentas actually be officially announced. The optimist in me is thinking perhaps they are planning a new Command Mission event that will involve Nana and Incentas, but who knows honestly. It's also worth mentioning that Nana and Incentas have both gotten some love recently through Teppen's latest card pack, along with the rest of the Command Mission cast. Man, lots of Command Mission love lately, love to see it. But anyways, thanks NebulaJoy I guess for the leak, but that is all for our dive news for today. Looking forward to the coming weeks. I'm not going to be around to cover next week's update, but I mean, come on. We're finishing up Christmas, you know what comes next, New Year's. So definitely expect a New Year event of some kind next week, along with a new character, most obviously. So assuming you haven't seen the data mines already, what do you think the next New Year character is going to be? Let us know in the comments. Moving on, this past week was actually pretty epic. You wanna know why? Because we recently celebrated Mega Man's 34th anniversary for the franchise, as well as Mega Man X's 28th anniversary. Oh, and did I mention Mega Man Star Force's 15th anniversary? Yeah, we celebrated that one ourselves with a comeback Mega Man Star Force DX stream. That was pretty fun. Yep, Capcom sure loved to put out Mega Man games during December, at least in Japan, so there's a ton of anniversaries going on right now. But what kind of anniversary news did we even get anyway this year? Well, it's not a video game, I'll tell you that much, but that's alright. The video games are coming, more on that later. But as a consolation prize, we did get a bunch of merchandising news for the anniversary, so let's go through that first. Let's begin with a familiar vinyl-shaped face, Laced Records. This is the company that was previously responsible for the Mega Man 1 through 11 and Mega Man X 1 through X8 collections. Now it appears that Laced Records is looking to release some individual vinyls for the Classic and X series. Enter the Mega Man 2 and 3 and Mega Man X vinyls. Both of these feature the original soundtracks for each game, remastered for vinyl specifically, and feature appropriately Mega Blue vinyls. The absolute best part about these, however, is the brand new cover art, drawn up by everybody's favorite artist, Ultimate Maverick X. Yep, he's back at it again with some truly beautiful illustrations for our Blue Boy and Maverick Hunter respectively for their anniversaries. Starting with the Mega Man 2 and 3 set, we have an illustration of the main cast, Dr. Wily and the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2 and 3, a depiction of the classic scene with Dr. Wily pleading for forgiveness from Mega Man, and lastly a shot of Mega Man and Proto Man together with Gamma in the background. Onto the Mega Man X Limited Edition Deluxe Vinyl set. The cover features the entire cast of Mega Man X1. Honestly, it would not look out of place as a box art for Mega Man X if it was released today in 2021. That is some excellent stuff. The back features a nostalgic flashback scene with Dr. Light building Mega Man X for the first time. Poor Dr. Light is so old and tired out, he can't even keep his eyes open anymore. Also, fun fact, as Ultimate Maverick X explained himself on Twitter, he actually already drew up this scene here before he was contacted to do the X1 art for the vinyl. It was going to be his anniversary piece anyways, so you know that all worked out in the end. Pretty epic. Lastly, we have a striking piece of artwork featuring Mega Man X making a dash while he gears up with his first armor. He's ready to lay down those facts. And hey, there's a little chill penguin on the vinyl itself too. Man, I love that pixel art. So chill. Now for the pricing and availability. The Mega Man 2 and 3 original soundtrack vinyl will be available in August 2022, and pre-orders are now available for $35 US, not including shipping, which I heard the shipping cost is pretty high, so watch out for that. If that won't deter you though, the Mega Man X vinyl comes in at $28 US before shipping, and it's also going to be coming out in August 2022. We'll have a link in the description below for the pre-order links if you are interested. Not gonna lie, it's pretty tempting just for the Ultimate Maverick X artwork alone. Do we have any vinyl collectors in the comments section? Let us know if you're planning to pick these up. In other 34th anniversary festivities, Capcom joined in on the action too, at least in Japan. On Twitter, they ran a lucky bag campaign that can net 5 to 10 lucky winners a bag of Rockman goods, some Rockman X Dive merch, autographed t-shirts by Captoon, and even Japanese autographs from the Rockman-chan and San manga authors. Pretty cool. Speaking of Rockman-chan and Rockman-san, first of all, they are officially getting a physical release on March 4th in Japan. It'd be pretty cool if they came to the West as well, but I don't know about that. But hey, if you are at all interested in owning these parody mangas physically, you should soon be able to import them at the very least. While we are on the topic, we recently saw the release of Rockman-chan Chapter 15, Part 2. In this one, Shademan tries to help the crew in getting Kalinka looking like her old self again, and not that hyper-realistic version. But as always, chaos ensues, and we even get to see a cameo from Bad Box Art Mega Man. Ah yes, a classic. Link in the description as always if you want to check it out. As for other manga, you guys surely remember the Ryo Takamisaki Rockman Works SSR we talked about previously. Well, we recently got to check out the cover for the new manga compilation, which reflects the fact that this is a compilation of the Rockman 11 manga, the Shooting Star Rockman 3 manga, and the new Rockman EXE manga, Forte Time of Reunion. Yep, it just features our three main mega guys. Not much else to write home about, honestly. But hey, there's the cover. And wrapping up the 34th anniversary stuff, well, it's mostly just more merchandise, discounts at the Capcom online store in Japan, and even Rockman X Dive / Mega Man X Dive is doing their own things. The Japanese server gave out 40 Super Rockman memories, 40 Blues memories, 5 card packs for the Rockman series, and 10 S-Rank supply boxes. Holy crap, 2 free S-Rank characters? Japan gets everything. Meanwhile, those of us playing the Taiwan version of Rockman X Dive mostly got multiples of 69 medals for Mega Man X's 28th anniversary. Nice. That does about do it for our mega news for the year. Once again, soon I'm going to be breaking for the holidays, but I will be back at the beginning of January to cover the rest, catch up on things, and so on with another mega news. But before we say happy holidays and so long, I do want to talk about a little bit of what can you expect for Mega Man in 2022. Well, it's no secret now that a while back that Capcom breach did happen, and as a result we found out about a title known as Rockman Tyson in Japan, and some have translated it to be Mega Man Match perhaps, but that's just a fan translation at best. What we know so far about Rockman Tyson is only a few things. While we don't know the genre of the game, we do know that it's going to be multiplayer focused, and it will feature 3D battles quote unquote. And yes, this is a console game by the way, it's not mobile. But yeah, multiplayer and 3D battles. You can pretty much make your own idea what it could be from that. But it seemed like to me that this game could perhaps be designed to draw in an entirely new audience, especially the multiplayer crowd that loves to play games with their friends online and stuff. So in that way it could be interesting, but yeah, obviously it's not the Mega Man X9 and whatever people have been asking for these days. But then things get interesting when in the document that was leaked as part of the breach, it was mentioned that Capcom is hoping to sell 2 million additional Mega Man franchise copies over the next 3 years. And that's where you're like, huh, 2 million? That's kind of crazy for a Mega Man game. No Mega Man game in the history of the franchise, 34 years on, has actually reached the 2 million sales mark. The only game that's even gotten remotely close is Mega Man 2. And even then, we're only talking about 1.5 million. That said, Mega Man 11 is coming up on Mega Man 2's heels with 1.4 million units sold since 2018. That's pretty dang impressive for a game coming back from a 8-year drought. Heck, give it another year, maybe it will actually dethrone Mega Man 2, ain't that crazy? Honestly, I love to see that happen. But regardless, yeah, if Capcom thinks changing up the genre of a Mega Man game is going to get them to that 2 million milestone, they sure are putting a lot of eggs in one basket. After all, in the breach, it was revealed that Mega Man Tyson had a budget similar to Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is a fairly large budget for a Mega Man title, which has historically always been very low budget. which is why 1 million for Mega Man has always been fine, because they make back their development costs and more. To help with that 2 million milestone, however, unlike with Mega Man 11, at least it doesn't seem like with Rockman Tyson they're just going to poop it out and then get off the proverbial toilet. Instead, the Breach mentioned that there were plans to release a major DLC expansion sometime after the launch. So, being multiplayer focused, Rockman Tyson does sound like it's going to be a game that will be updated regularly, unlike Mega Man 11 that really didn't get anything after its launch. So in that way, it would definitely help Capcom keep Rockman Tyson in the public conscious as it regularly receives updates. Assuming that happens, of course. But still, 2 million, man, that is kinda crazy even for 3 years. Of course, that's assuming that Rockman Tyson is the only thing coming out over the next 3 years. Perhaps, and this is only speculation, maybe they're cooking up something else to help supplement those sales to actually get that milestone. Whether that be a collection, or your Mega Man 12, your Mega Man X9, whatever, right? Suffice to say though, I know a lot of people have been really down about there being no video game news besides Mega Man X Dive for a long time now, but the thing is, the Breach did mention that Rockman Tyson was slated for 2022, and if that does hold true, we don't know for sure obviously because plans do change in development all the time, and not to mention there's a freaking pandemic going on out there, so that could definitely delay things as well. To be fair, however, this specific document that's been the highlight of the Breach has been fairly accurate so far in terms of Capcom announcements. So personally, I would put it at a pretty decent chance that at the very least, we see Rockman Tyson get announced next year. So guys, if you do want to look at it this way, I know it sucks there hasn't been much video game news lately, but just imagine, in just a couple of short weeks, we can finally say, hey, we'll finally get a Mega Man game announced this year. Yo, that's crazy. Mind blow. And then on the topic of other possible games they might do to help with that 2 million goal, well, there was another interesting thing found in that Breach a while ago, and that was the fact that the source code for the Misadventures of Chon-Bon was found in the active state. Essentially what that means is they've been doing some tinkering around with it, trying to play around with it. And why would they want to play around with it? Well, the answer is obvious. At the time of the Breach at least, they may have been thinking about doing some kind of Mega Man Legends Legacy Collection, or even just a standalone re-release of Misadventures of Chon-Bon. But the collection is probably the more likely scenario. But ShadowRock, you ask? Isn't it the 20th anniversary of Battle Network and the 15th of Star Force? Shouldn't they do a collection of that first to celebrate the anniversary? Well, here's the thing about that, guys. I agree with you. I do. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to do that. And hey, they might be planning one. I don't actually know. But that's the thing. Aside from the fact that there was some EXE 20th anniversary news on the way, like the rumored mobile game, for example, but then all those plans got a wrench thrown into them because of COVID, obviously, so everything got delayed, and we don't even know that mobile game is happening anymore, to be honest. For all we know, those plans may have included a collection, but the thing is, that's just speculation. We don't have any evidence right now that there will be a Battle Network Legacy collection. So I'm just saying, if someone tries to tell you that a collection is happening for sure, that's just more a wish and not factual information. Unless then another major leak happens. That would be wild, but yeah, for now, as far as I know at least, there's no evidence out there that they are working on one. In fact, with the Misadventures of Chon-Bon source code active state thing, that lends more credence to the idea that a Legends Legacy collection could happen first instead. And you know, this may have been decided on before the EXE 20th came up. Why does a Legends Legacy collection make sense right now anyways? Well, for one, Legends 1, 2, and Misadventures of Trombone were actually taken off of the Japanese PS3 store. And this happened a couple years back, in fact. So it's been a hot minute, and I can definitely see, just from that fact alone, that Capcom may be interested in preserving these games for the future by making a collection. And not to mention, Sony very nearly almost killed off the PS3 store earlier this year as it was. Then nobody would be able to get the Mega Man Legends 1, 2, and Misadventures of Trombone games on their PS3. And hey, it would be nice to have them on modern consoles anyways. Not to mention giving Capcom another chance to figure out if people actually want Legends 3 by voting with their wallets. In addition, if you want to look at it this way, Legends is the last game in the classic timeline that hasn't gotten a collection yet. So it does make some sense for Capcom to want to finish off the classic timeline first before they start worrying about the RPG stuff. But hey, it's all just a theory, game theory. And yeah, at this current moment, that's pretty much the interesting things that we've been clicking onto for a while now. Rockman-Tyson, and then the little weird thing about the source code of Misadventures of Trombone from that breach. And hey, there may have been some stuff in there that we haven't seen yet. That means a lot of data to go through. But for now, those are at least a couple things that we can kind of keep in the back of our mind as we go into 2022. Whether it be Rockman-Tyson, a new mainline game, or a collection, I just hope something gets announced in 2022 myself because, man, I don't want to cover just Mega Man X Dive forever. I totally feel you guys that hate hearing about Dive all the time. Trust me, I know. But hey, that's the life of covering news. So don't shoot the messenger, eh? And speaking of messengers, I do have a channel update for you all going forward into 2022 as well. Those of you who have been around the Mega Man fan community online for several years may have at least heard of the Mega Man Network, a website that hosted Mega Man news, editorials, podcasts, and a bunch of other stuff. Way back in the day, I used to use the Mega Man Network to download Mega Man music from. Suffice to say, definitely during the 2000s and the early 2010s, Mega Man Network was pretty much your go-to place for Mega Man news next to Rockman Corner. It's definitely got a storied history to it. They even collaborated with Capcom USA a couple of times in the olden days, especially for the Mega Man X collection. And I mean the old collection during the GameCube and PS2 era. Unfortunately, a lot of the feedback that was eventually sent to them, like a redub, and fixing one of Zero's skills in X6 didn't actually come to fruition, but the idea was nice. The point of all this though is the Mega Man Network is a pretty cool place. But unfortunately the site has been offline for a year now as they were migrating to a new site. Thankfully the work is almost complete and the Mega Man Network is looking to make a big comeback on January 3rd, 2022. And the webmaster of Mega Man Network, LBD Nitran, who you may remember as a guest on our channel a few times, and he is one of the authors of the recent Mega Man X Maverick Hunter's Field Guide, so he's definitely been busy. Today as I'm recording this, he put out a post detailing what's going on with the Mega Man Network, when they plan to come back, and more stuff. As part of that, there's a little announcement in there, and that's the part I want to talk about. First of all, yep, it's true. I am officially joining the team at the Mega Man Network with the idea of using ShadowRockZX's content, such as the Mega News, which you are watching right now, as well as the live streams and whatever else we come up with, to headline the Mega Man Network TV section of the site. Now, right off the bat, for those of you already subscribed to the ShadowRockZX YouTube channel, nothing's really going to change for you guys. And hey, that's the whole beauty of it. We're going to keep doing what we do best here on this channel. Meanwhile, the Mega Man Network gets some additional content to put on their site, and in return, we may get some new eyes coming to the channel as well. That's pretty exciting. Essentially though, I'm going to be the video guy over at the Mega Man Network, and that does present an interesting opportunity. as LBD is more of a writer and I've always been more on the media video side of things. But with this partnership, we can join forces together and really get our ideas, editorials and stuff out there in both the written and the video formats for everybody to enjoy, no matter which you prefer. If you prefer to read an article, you can do that. If you want to listen to a video, you can do that too. And that's the whole idea behind it. Now, not all the details are set in stone just yet, so I will keep updating you guys as more things become concrete and ironed out. But definitely moving forward into 2022, keep an eye on this channel and keep an eye on the Mega Man Network for, news, editorials, and other interesting stuff going on there, as the site gets rolling again finally on January 3rd. In time, you should start seeing some of the fruits of my contributions over there, so yeah, definitely stay tuned. I just want to end off by saying I've definitely been a huge fan of the Mega Man Network ever since I discovered it in the mid-2000s, and for a time it was actually my #1 go-to source for Mega Man news. Sorry, Proto Dude. So suffice to say, it has been a big part of my life, especially early on in my Mega Man fandom online, and it has been a true honor and pleasure to befriend LBD Night Train and now get to work with him in more of a official capacity. I've helped him out in the past with things like the Fully Charged podcast on the Mega Man Network before it got shut down, but now we're going to be doing more stuff together as things move forward, and I'm stoked. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to LBD Night Train for inviting me to be on the team. Should be fun. And of course, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel up to this point and for watching this video too, because yep, that's it, we're wrapping it up. I hope you all have a happy holidays and even better new year. As per usual, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for all things Mega Man, including some things like a review of Gunvolt Chronicles Numinous Avenger X2 coming up in the new year in January. Hey, maybe we'll touch that Kojin sort of rewind game too. Copen is in it, at least as a crossover DLC character. It's been a fun year, guys, and next year should prove to be really interesting for both the channel and the Blue Bomber, especially if that Rockman Tyson game or whatever else gets announced, right? Oh, and one more thing, the Best of ShadowRockZX 2021 is coming up at the end of this year, so that is going to be the last thing that you can look forward to from us for the year, in addition to some Hero Azure live streams, I'm sure. As for me, I'm actually going to be celebrating the holidays with Spec this year, so yep, aside from this Wednesday's Rockman X dive stream, it will be time for me to break for the holidays. Before I do though, I do want to one last time thank our channel members on the SRZX channel, including SA class supporter Kyberman41 and GA class supporters Adrian Cauldron, LML123, Chaos Bankai, Vent Crystals, Rico Syndrome, and Austin Buford. It's been really swell to have all of you guys support over the last year, and yeah, let's just keep on rocking on, right? Here's to 2022, may you be a lot better than the last couple years. And until then, happy holidays everyone, and rock on.